Hey, Matt, I hope you're feeling well.
Thank you.
Can you give us any update on how things are going for you and whether you've gotten that first negative test that you need yet?
Yeah, I don't have any updates yet in regards to all that. I think the biggest thing, Jason, is for me is just to be able to listen to our head trainers in the league and just them letting me know, whether I'm on or off of the COVID protocol list and the COVID list. And as of right now, I'm on it.
So
So I appreciate you asking.
have you wrapped your head around the idea of not coaching this game, of watching it on TV like everybody else?
Yeah, you know what? I've had to do that because that's definitely something that could happen. So if that is the case, really from the time that I was put on the COVID protocol, you have to go through all of those situations, and that's what I've been able to do with the coaching staff, and just being able to have constant conversations with these guys, playing it through of it's easy to say, okay, if I'm off of it and I'm able to coach, that's easy to handle. But if it goes the other way and I'm still on it and I'm not able to coach, then that's where conversations with the coordinators and Coach Tabor, as to how that will go, and just kind of talking through things. There's a lot of stuff that goes on game day, and just making sure we're all on the same page and all of that. So we'll be fully prepared, and that's again where it kind of goes into the trust and belief in your coaches and players.
Next question, Dion Miller.
Matt, with everything that has gone on this week and the schedule changes, have you gotten to keep kind of a pulse on this group? And do you know where your team is at mentally after 2 straight losses heading into this one?
Yeah, so they've number one, Dion, they've done a really good job at really adapting and understanding what we need to do per the league and how we go through this. So that's been great. The coaches have been great with there's constant communication with whatever it is, whether it's Zoom meetings, whether it's the day-to-day stuff. They've been great with that, and then I'm able to jump around in different rooms via the Zoom when we have those Zoom meetings, and just kind of talk to the guys and see the guys. It's definitely not the same as being there in person, but at least I'm able to do that. And then again, big picture as to where we're at. Yeah, I mean, we understand. We have a mature team that knows how important it is that we get back on track. So that's been the message all week long. It's been to have great practices. I think, for me, being able to see the practices on tape and not be there in person, but see it, it seems like, we're really having, a good solid week of practice. And now we just got to go do it on Sunday.
Next question, Colleen Kane.
Hey, Matt, we saw that you guys ruled out Khalil Mack for Sunday. Have you made a decision whether you're going to put him on injured reserve?
Again, we have not made any decisions, Colleen. It's keeping Khalil out for this weekend. He obviously would love to be able to go, but that's where we're at right now with him. And, we'll continue to just kind of work through that situation with him.
He obviously doesn't miss many games. What do you miss without him out there?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a great leader. I mean, for what he does on the field, this has been one of the fastest starts he's had in his career, production-wise. You feel it, you see it. He's had a couple of weeks there where he has not been able to practice, but he's been able to strap it up on Sunday and get out there and do a lot of great things. So the want is there, but we got to sometimes protect Khalil from himself. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And then continue to just work through everything with him, open communication, and come up with a good plan as to what it is as we move forward.
Next question, Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, this might seem trivial, but maybe not. Do the increased protocols allow you to still have club dub if you win? Because that just doesn't seem like the kind of thing you might want to be having when you're having a COVID outbreak.
Yeah, that's a great question. But I think we're okay to do that. It's a short period of time, but at the same point in time, it is like you said. I mean, these guys are together and they're out there playing a game on Sunday and doing their stuff. But they just got to be the biggest thing in this whole process is just making sure you're smart as you go through this. And so let's number one, make sure we have club dub by winning. And then number two, we'll handle all the other stuff later. But I think the guys have done a great job with that. And we'll certainly, if we do it, we'll make it short and sweet.
And real quick on Robert Quinn, At this time of the season, is it good for a guy like him? He had a week off. I mean, sometimes he might be rusty from not playing, but do you think that will be good for him to come back? Do you think he'll be better, I guess, because of that?
I don't know. We'll see. I really believe, Robert was in a really good place in practice and in the games. Again, another guy, both Khalil and Robert coming off the edge. They were, working together like that was really great. And so, you have a little bit of a roadblock here with that, but he'll bounce back. And, I just know he takes good care of himself, and he's a guy that you don't really have to tell him too much. He really only has one speed. So for him, it's going to probably be the biggest thing is just the conditioning. And that's where Coach Shuey and Coach Sean will do a good job at, making sure that he has the reps he needs to get when he's out there. And then we just got to listen to him too and see where he's at. But I think he'll be productive.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question, Chris Emma.
Hey, Matt, two questions if you could. One with Khalil, is it something that this injury got worse on him, or is it simply a matter of protecting him so he can come back healthier long-term?
I think it's probably, gradually for him, it's more so of, okay, he's trying to continue to keep playing. And then we got to work together and say, okay, well, is it going to get any better? Is it not? And that's kind of where we're at right now. So he's playing through the pain and he's being productive and all that. But then you also too, after every game, you got to reevaluate, okay, he's got to tell us, okay, how do you feel? And then we got to look medically and see, okay, where are you at? Put the two together and say, what's the plan moving forward? So that's where we're at right now. And he's been great with all that communication part. And I just know that, football is a difficult game enough and physical game enough. And so when you have a guy that's, trying to hit somebody on every single play, you have bumps and bruises, but we'll just keep talking through this one and see where it goes.
And then also you talked about kind of accepting the idea that you might not be at Soldier Field on Sunday. Do you have a sense of what it'll be like watching the team, locked in a room, I guess, on your own, and kind of will you be are you somebody who's standing in front of the TV, yelling? What would your mannerisms be like for this?
I wish I could tell you, but I have no idea what it'll be like, other than just trying to predict. I mean, when you're for me, if that is the case, it is strange because you're a part of all of the meetings, the Zoom meetings, the communication that goes on hour by hour throughout the week. And so it'll be unique if that's the case that I'm not there. It'll be unique seeing plays that you see and recognize, unlike a lot of other, people that watch a game, or even us when you're watching a different game or a team you don't know what's going on. It's definitely going to be weird if that's the case.
Next question, Dan Wiederer.
Matt, where would you set up in that case?
Say that again. Where would I set up?
Where would you set up to watch the game in that case?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever, if that's the case, and it'll be a big TV and just me being able to watch it like everybody else, and that's about it. I don't know if I end up not being there on Sunday. I'm not so sure yet. Other than just planning on, I'll definitely be watching it. I'm not so sure as to, what size TV or where, I'll have to choose that on the day of the game.
I'm curious, what can you do and what will you do for Chris Tabor in that circumstance to just prepare him for everything that happens within a game? We've
instead of waiting until Saturday night when, or whenever it is that they tell you an answer, yes or no, we've been discussing throughout the week, just different scenarios and just different things so I can help him out as much as possible. Some things that he might not think of on game day, whether it's with the coaches, whether it's with the players, mindset of anything game situation wise that we want to, go into in this particular game. And, Coach Tabes has been great with all that. We do a lot of that anyway, as him being a special teams coordinator, and I do it with the coordinators. But now that he's in that, role where he'd end up having to be the guy that makes the decisions, just giving him support so that he feels good and understands. And then, a lot of it too, Dan, is there's, when you're in the moment, there's some things you just can't predict. There's a feel to it as well. And that's where that feel will come into play. And we have a nice little plan in place if that's the case.
Next question, Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, a couple of just little housekeeping things. Number one, did you have any additional staffers or coaches test positive today? I know you don't have to put them on a list, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, so no updates with Jimmy, and then we did have to add Jermaine Ifedi today to the COVID list.
Right. Okay. But nobody else. Secondly, what would the level of frustration be for you? And have you felt frustrated this week? And also, have you felt symptoms in the last couple of days? How are you just medically?
Well, so I'm not going to get into all of the symptoms or no symptom stuff right now. Just, that's something that's per league rule. But I will say this, for me, being able to go through this last year with the Zoom, you're able to go through these meetings and you're still a part of all of it. You're just not there in person. So I don't think frustration is a good word. I think, you're eager and you want to be able to be there with your guys. And that's probably the biggest challenge, Pat, as you go through this, is just making sure that everybody is doing everything as best as they can. And which that's where just talking through things, and it's easy to talk technology now to do that, but you don't have that feel, right? Because you're not there. So it is what it is. That's where we're at right now. And again, like I said the other day, being positive is one way to get through this thing. And that's by doing that every single day.
From a practical standpoint, you expect to know Saturday night, or could you take a test Sunday morning if you already have one positive or one negative test?
So for me, that's where too, as I go through this, like the league will let Andre know where I'm at and whether I'm on it or I'm off of it. So, I think that's pretty much the deal. They all talk about, I think the rules of you got to have the 2 24-hour negatives, et cetera. So really for me, there's a lot of things that go into it. Just to keep it really, really super simple for me and Andre is I just wait for him to tell me that you're off the list. And if I'm off the list, I'm ready to go. If I'm on the list, then we got to continue with this plan.
Saturday night, will you know whether you're coaching Sunday?
Say that one more.
You go to bed on Saturday night. Will you know whether you're coaching Sunday?
I'll know on Sunday morning when Dre tells me you're on or off the list.
Next question, Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Matt, with Justin this week, I know you guys are obviously always very proud of the way he stays pretty even keeled. I'm curious what stood out for you or what you observed from him in Zoom meetings this week, coming off Sunday's loss, going through everything this week. What have you kind of observed from Justin?
Well, just when you're watching the tape, you're going through the game plan that we're putting in and the questions that are asked, and listening to Coach Flip go through and teach it, and Coach Laser go through and teach it. And so that's really the biggest thing. And then being able to sit in those quarterback meetings when they're having their meetings and listen to where they're at, help out, be there if they have questions. That's really the biggest part. And it's the same way as if I was there too. It's the same thing. So the only difference is I'm not, it's via through Zoom, and that's about it. But he's been great. Again, without me being there in the building, from asking the different coaches that are there and players, the vibe has been really good.
Last question, Nick Moriano.
Hey, Matt, the 49ers defense has had some issues with being flagged for pass interference calls. How can your offense capitalize on that issue the 49ers are currently having?
Well, yeah, and I know that's been a big focus for them, and any team that plays against them, is you see that, but you got to be able to give yourself opportunities, and they're well coached, and they're gonna work on that. They're gonna try to do everything they can to eliminate that, and but at the same point in time, we want to be able to stay aggressive, and when we get opportunities, we need to do that. Hidden yards in this game or in any game are so valuable, and sometimes that's a lost stat. But for instance, Allen Robinson has always been really good with those hidden yardage, getting DPIs against him. So they know that we know about that. That they're preparing and planning for all of that, and we just got to go out there now and wherever or whenever the time calls for it, if there is an opportunity, whether it's DPI or not, we want to make plays on the football, and we all know that we want to get better and score more points and do that kind of stuff. So that'll certainly be a part of it.